Welcome to another thrilling and exciting adventure of the Planetary Persuader. And when I say thrilling and exciting, I'm not kidding. Now, this is the horoscope from Friday, August 18th through August 25th, 2017. So this is eclipse week. And as you know, this eclipse runs across the United States, starting in northwest Oregon, all the way down to southeast South Carolina. And I couldn't help, when I first saw that line, I said, this is kind of like the racist corridor of America. And Mercury is like, we need to be conscious. So all these retrograde planets, they all have a message. Uranus says, we need to acknowledge other people's different lifestyles and be okay with that. Neptune says, you need to honor everybody's religion and spiritual vision of what they want, or non-spiritual vision. And Pluto is like, hey, change is the name of the game. If you're going to stay in that seed pod, you're not going to bloom, you're not going to root, you're not going to do anything. You're just going to be dead potential matter. And some of us need to birth and break out, and that's part of this too. All right. So sign by sign, here we go. Beginning with you, Aries. Okay, so greetings, Aries. Welcome to your horoscope. So Mars is in Leo this whole week. In fact, by the end of this week, Mars will be tripping into Vedic Leo. So it's kind of in Cancer, so in Vedic, so there's a little bit of debilitation. And there's this feeling where maybe our emotions are crippling us. But you've got creative juice. And you got a lot of energy for your children right now, if you have children. And you might be working on some long-term health issues. You also, there might be limits in travel and in education that you were hoping to be able to address. That's all okay. The important thing to do is be in your heart this weekend. We're starting out Friday. Moon in Cancer. Moon and Venus can join each other actually Friday night. So there's kind of a nice feeling. It's like an exciting kickoff for the weekend, but there's also this need to pay attention to work and play. And just make your best effort. That's what someone told me. Well, hello Taurus, and welcome to your horoscope. I think Sam Rita was very upset that Taurus didn't get posted till later or something, and I was like, oh man, this is for you. So, Leo time is, for Taurus, is like a fourth house transit. It's all about family. It's foundational stuff. And it's really more about your mother or elders in the family who kept the hearth, going. Sometimes that can be the father too these days. And what's your relationship to them? And that is a lot of where this new moon energy that we're going to happen on Monday. And Monday's a moon day. I mean, it doesn't get any lunar than this, folks. We haven't had a total eclipse across the whole country since 1776. It's a long time ago. So, like for you, it's like, I would say, stay as emotionally chilled out as possible, and acknowledge your feelings. I mean, don't try to run away from it. It's okay to cry, it's okay to laugh, and especially if you're, straight male, we're really forbidden the right to emote and have close relationships according to our culture. I mean, it doesn't mean you have to be following that necessarily, but it's something to question. How much intimacy and emotional freedom, creative freedom, dress expressive freedom do you allow yourself? Well, yeah, it might be ridiculous. Yeah, and that's the thing, is we got to get over being ridiculed. We got to be into who we are so we can shine like bright lights too. So that's a thing for you, Taurus. Maybe stretch the boundaries a little bit. You know, Venus, going to be in the 3rd house, good for poetry, good for storytelling, good for working with your hands, doing creative stuff. And I'd say just stay close to home, stay close to friends, stay close to family, and carry on. Okay. Well, greetings, Gemini. Welcome to your horoscope. So, we're thinking about this new moon. We're thinking about this solar eclipse. And part of the situation is about your own ability to communicate, your own ability to be friendly with your neighbors, your own ability to be in your environment. And I don't know, I mean, I really believe that talk is cheap, and that politics and religion isn't who we are as people. You know, it really isn't. And somehow, because I know there's bad decisions and there's oppression, and can we just look beyond that and see the human soul and be loving towards them? Mercury's retrograde in your 4th house. I mean, it's like you may not have the straight story about your family. You may be having some bumps in the road in some kind of research you're doing and looking at what the whole history of things are. But like right now, it's a time to gather with old friends, with siblings, cousins, those people, tell stories, write songs, play games, make things, and learn from your experiences, take risks, sell your guns and all your weapons, and cook really good meals. Cook some really good meals. That's all I got for you today, Gemini. Okay. All right. Well, greetings, Cancer. Welcome to your horoscope. So, here's the thing. Moon is Friday in your 1st house. So, you know, it's kind of like an emotional start to the weekend. And, you know, we're in this winding down of a waning moon. You know, and so this lunar chakra started out, let's remember, you know, because I've heard so many negative things, I really want to get back to what nakshatra started this new moon. Well, it was Pusha. And Pusha is about nurturing. It's that nurturing udder of the cow. It's about softening all the malefic and harsher planets and about enhancing the ones that are good. So we're still working on that. We're still working on that. And yeah, I know about the whole Mars and the Sun, and they're friends, you know, but, you know, with Cancer, we can get stuck. We can get stuck in our emotional trip, you know, and that's what the sidereal Vedic astrologers say. So, you know, but here in Western astrology land, for my dear friend Cancer, you know, this is, Venus is in your 1st house. You're looking good. Moon starts in your 1st house this weekend. That looks good. By late Saturday morning, Moon goes in your 2nd house. So actually you can make a lot of money this weekend, you know. If you're one of those people that live, you know, in that 50-mile fat range where the eclipse is total and people are gathering, I mean, you should sell water and all kinds of things on the side of the road. You're going to make some bank. You know, all your Taurus coming to check it out. I can't really laugh. I'm going to see it. It's a time for you to look at, you know, finances and family and values, and say, what can I do to renew the darkest part of this? Because I think part of the total solar eclipse is like, what is really dark about Leo? oh, nothing, man, I'm just like sunshine, how could it? No, hey, you know, ego, it's got a dark side to it, right? Boastfulness, pride, belligerence, arrogance. Oh, I know that hurts, but you know, we all have different areas in our life where we participate. One of the things I was thinking is like people who are more like oriented towards possible conspiracy theories or whatever are constantly getting gaslighted. It's almost to a point where in an anti-intellectual America where you can't even investigate things. Like, well, you know, that doesn't seem quite right. Oh, there must be conspiracy theorists. You know, it's like, wait a second. When you have a battle where you can't even think or question things culturally, it shows me you're in a very dangerous position. This is very similar to what they used to do in the, what at least I heard about the communist countries back in the 40s and 50s, you know. You don't get to wear the red scarf because you still believe in God, kid. You're not worthy of this, you know. I mean, it's real, you know. It's real. There's ways people socially allow people, you know. You know, if you question a vaccination safety, oh, you're an anti-vaxxer. You know, suddenly it's like there's no real middle ground. There's no ability to question. It's like, Cancer, you need to fix that stuff, you know. Let's get back to our good values. All right. Hello, Leo. Welcome to your horoscope. So you got Mars in the first house. You know, we'll talk Western here. You got North Node there. You know, boy, you've got extra strength. You know, there's some extra ability that Mars gives you, and I've been feeling that. I've been feeling some of the benefit of Mars. And you're conscious. You know, Mars' purpose is to get rid of evil. And Mars and the Sun are friends. And so normally you're really a bright light. You're a great teacher, great entertainer. Love to make people feel comfortable. You know, that Vedic Cancer comes into that nurturing quality. So, I mean, a lot of times North Node, first house, it's like, God, we'd like to do anything to win what we want. We'd love to have everything our way. Cheat to win. It was the Sun, though, that recognized that Rahu was a demon when he went to get the nectar of immortality. So it's something very significant, I think. So for you, because whether you're male or female Leo, you're kind of like the head of your kingdom and trip, and so it's like we learn by example. And this new moon on Monday is really going to affect you on a soul level, especially for those of you who are like early Virgos, you know, born like the 25th, the 22nd through the 25th, and those of you born like from like the 18th through the 22nd in Leo. It's all the same. You know, you people, you're on ground zero of renewal, okay? Or if you have the moon there or your rising sign is in that position. I'd say those three things, if any of those three things are between 27 degrees Leo and 4 degrees Virgo, boom, you know, stuff is happening. And so you want to look at that. And you want to do what you can to bring your inner light, that meditative soul light. See, that soul power is what's going to illuminate this eclipse. You get into your soul. It's like, what is the core of your soul? Who are you really? And can you be free to do all your good things? And that we can acknowledge all your great gifts. And that's the story. You know, that's the real story for you. I mean, there's karma. You know, with love, there might be secrets. And values, things going around with your family, your children, you know, with Saturn transiting the 5th, your family, with Mercury transiting your 2nd house. I mean, they're all stuff we got to look at. And but ultimately you're going to come up with something good. Hello, Virgo. Welcome to your horoscope. Okay, so now, if you're one of those early Virgos I mentioned earlier, like born the 23rd through the 25th, 26th, this is big for you. But also if your moon's in the first 4 degrees of Virgo, or your rising signs, the first 4 degrees of Virgo. Light chases out the darkness, and that's what you want for your soul. And so what you're really seeing here is kind of a finishing off in this new moon of old karma. And so on this cycle with Maga, it's like, it's also kind of like your ancestors want you to clean things up. And my mom and dad's still alive. And it's nice to be somebody's, little boy, still, even with white hair on your head. But I know that they have expectations for me, and that their parents had expectations for them. Their grandparents did, my great-grandparents, and that a lot of that stuff never had a chance to be fulfilled. And you're that seed of it, and that's part of your karma. So, like, when you go into your soul, your meditation, your isolation, places you feel isolated, places where you feel like there's deception, let that soul light, let that inner voice, let being open to listening to God, the goddess, change all that for you. Okay, Mercury retrograde. I can't see the forest for the trees. It's okay. You're seeing everything you need to know. Are you still breathing? Good. You're still walking? You're drinking water? Okay. That's most of it right there. That's most of it. Okay? Can you stretch? Can you appreciate your body? Can you be in it? Swimming and dancing. 2 great 12th house remedies. Do some more swimming. Do some more dancing. Play some more music. Use your creative stuff, your imagination, and draw your thoughts to the positive. Teach yourself to be a positive person, Virgo. That'll be a game changer for you. All right? Okay. Awesome. Well, greetings, Libra. Welcome your horoscope. So, Venus is in your midheaven, 10th house. So you look good at work. You look like you're doing the right thing right now. This new moon. Talk about it. Okay. Well, it's kind of like how your social life and your friends can lead you to having other kinds of karma. Because it's like right there between your 11th and 12th house. So it's like, how am I going to end? Because I'm entering into a cycle where I'm going to be dealing, with Libra as more karma. And a new moon cycle beginning just before there, with a total eclipse is like, I don't want to be fooled by this darkness. Don't let the darkness fool you. And how do we keep the darkness from fooling us? Soul power. Soul power. Get into your heart. And ask Creator for a good vision. Ask your older friends that are helpful. What do you think I'm good at? What can I do? You need guidance. You need some of that guru vibe to kind of lift things up. And you have it too. You got Jupiter transiting your first house. I mean, that was the big thing for this year. That stuff is going to start to crystallize and change between September and October. When end of October, Jupiter goes out of Western Libra in a Western Scorpio. Goes into Vedic Libra in mid-September. So there's big changes. And it's actually going to be for the good of all of us. We're going to feel a lot better. All of us. Yay! All of us feel better. Yay. Okay. Hello, Scorpio. Greetings and welcome to your horoscope. So, Pluto in the 3rd house still. Albeit retrograde. Mars in your midheaven, which isn't a bad place, along with the sun. So you're looking kind of dynamic. And this is kind of where your career life begins to interact with good connections, people that see the good in you and want to offer you opportunities to move ahead. Well, who couldn't use that, right? You have good social connections. And you are a good performer when you want to be. When you put your passion and your intensity into something, people see it, they love it. They say, this is real. This person is not fake about this. They're totally behind it. We want that. Now, you're dealing with financial limitations with Saturn crossing over your 2nd house. So that, you got to make change. You got to make that get better. Help your friends that are in trouble. Do good karma. As you give money, it definitely releases it in the universe. When you help other causes, it really does. It makes good karma for you. So don't forget to give. Even if it's a little bit. Every little bit helps. And it just gets you in the habit of it. And It makes you be thankful, and you see your life as being blessed. And this is, use your talents and skills. This new moon's about renew your talents and skills, and know that they're going to be used for public and social good to elevate others and bring good fortune. Greetings, Sagittarius. Welcome to your horoscope. Saturn in the first house means slow down. That's been the message. Slow down. Yeah, I mean, you want to move forward. This is like new moon in the ninth house, almost in the midheaven. So it's like everything you've learned, the harder lessons, the bigger lessons, the advanced lessons, you're going to be about, in this moon cycle, you're going to be about to put them into action. Put them into play. Show the world what you're talented. Show the world what you can do. Bless others. You know, part of like ninth house transit is helping others. When you help others, you help yourself. You know, this is like, I think in Western astrology, ninth house could be like the house of the lotto winner. But it's really more about winning a cakewalk or some, you know, a little raffle at church or something a lot more simple, or a temple that you're more likely to win. You know, better odds. I'm not going to kid you. You're a lucky person, you're a winner, but it's been a more solemn, serious time, and you're not always down with that. The other deal is that, you know, you're anxious for things to happen. I mean, Mars has been transiting your 8th house, and 9th house, rather, sorry. And you're looking for action, but you can take unnecessary risks. So I think with having both Mars in your 9th house along with the sun, it's just like, you know, just try and keep things chilled out. I know you got a lot of enthusiasm, you got a lot of excitement, but, you know, try and just relax. You also have Jupiter up in your midheaven, so if people know what you're good at, you're okay. You're going to be fine. Well, hello, Capricorn, and welcome to your horoscope. So, what are we seeing here? Well, we're seeing so much, you know, because we're letting go of our previous judgments, our previous perceptions, and we're realizing that there's layer after layer of different things. Transform your thoughts. You know, I was coming back from Southern California. I was on the Amtrak buses and trains. Looked at a lot of people. A lot of people I would have thought were pretty scary looking and stuff sometimes. But then I learned to see them in the eyes of the Creator, and it's like, oh my God, they're all beautiful. There's beauty, there's a reflection of God. Even in their suffering, even in the lines on their faces, we're learning so much. And from that learning, we can be a blessing. You know, at that opening, we can bless others, even in the hard times. You know, there are harsh things. It's real. I can't escape it. But we can be kind during them. I mean, Leo time, this new moon, you know, it's in your 8th house, transformation, letting go, death, rebirth. Your intuition is on. Sex, how you relate in that realm. Your spouse's or boyfriend, girlfriend's wealth. I mean, all these things are affected somewhat by this transit. So it's just look at it and try to bring them light. You know, try to bring yourself light, in soul light, soul powered light in those areas of your life with this new moon. Greetings, Aquarius. Welcome to your horoscope. You know, what makes a good partnership is mutuality. What makes a good relationship is good communication, for one thing. Now, with Mercury retrograde in your 8th house, you're kind of afraid to say things, and I get it. I need to be afraid to say things. Because I mistakenly think the world's as forgiving as I am. I got news for you. There's some really stuck SOBs out there. I mean, you know, there are people out there that make Archie Bunker look like a bleeding heart liberal lover. And that's how deep they are in their resentment and hate. And that's so sad. I know. You don't need that sadness. And most of them need a hug and a cookie. You know, and like some people are like, oh, they need a punch in the mouth. You know, nobody learns that way. I mean, suffering is going to come to all these people, inevitably. Karma is real. So rather than hoping people get the worst, pray for mercy for ourselves, for our minds, for others. And also, in this romance, acknowledge that everything is temporary, everything's borrowed, everything's a gift. And so, give enough space so that love can grow. All right. Greetings, Pisces. Welcome to your horoscope. I know they're different this week. Yeah. Well, for you, it's about where my relationship to being a team player, contributing to the world, is going to reflect how good of a marriage partner I am. How good of a potential business partner I am. How good of a team player I am too. And you know, for those of you who are Pisces in positions of authority, bosses, whatnot, this is a time to work ground level, you know, to wash dishes with your crew, to wash floors and to help clean things. When I see leaders do that stuff, that down and dirty stuff, and they're not above it, that's one of the leaders I have the most respect for. I think you're one of those people. And I think part of this soul new moon is like, you know what? Royalty is in service. You know, there is a thing where Jesus said, if you want to be great in God's kingdom, let him be a servant unto all. You know, and I think that predates, you know, even Jesus and part of Jewish mysticism. And it's part of Vedic studies too, but it even predates Judaism. So it's like, hey, it's all there. It's not there to be judged, it's there to be experienced. May you experience your life this week with this new moon renewal, with absolute hope, a renewal of your heart, an exorcist of what is calloused and dark, that we all might have the most vibrating, thrilling love with each other that we've ever had before. It's Cosmic Hem, Cosmic Forecast, full moon, total eclipse week. Woo, we're out.